Hey guys, Queen and Handyman here. Today I've got an actual key to my truck, and the top broke off, and I keep it on my little keychain. Obviously I have a bunch of keys on it, but yeah, it just keeps breaking off. So I tried epoxy, and this is an example that I did, and I just drilled a hole through it. So I can get it on my keychain, and that one, if you look through that, that also has cracked. They crack after several months, you know. So I'm trying to figure out how to do this better, and I basically took a potato and I cored out a hole in the potato. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up some JB Weld, which is like a heavy-duty epoxy. I'm going to pour that epoxy into the potato, and then I'm going to sink my key into it. And then that, you know, will harden overnight, and then I'll just cut the potato away. And then I will have a good bond. The problem that I had in the past was I would mix up the material, and then it would just like slope. It would fall off. And it wasn't a great bond. So I think doing it this way and just, you know, leaving it in there and having that bond is going to give me a better solution. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to mix them up, and then put it in there. All right. So what I did was take 50% of this one and 50% of that one. So our two chemicals here, and then we're just going to stir them together. I'm just going to use a screwdriver because that's all I have lying around. All right, so that is thoroughly mixed, and now we're ready to pour it into our little potato here. All right, so I've got the potato filled, and now I'm just going to dip my key in and push it down in there. Like that. So you can see that it's just sticking in there up straight. So I'm just going to leave that overnight and then see what it looks like tomorrow. All right, guys. So back to this key. I needed to get my key working again, so I didn't do the video of me like showing how I did this, but I'm going to tell you how I did it. So you can see it's done, and I drilled a small hole, and it's back on my keychain because, you know, I needed to use my truck, and it turned out pretty good. You can take it to a whole bunch of different levels, you know, depending on what you want. You can spray paint this black. You can really sand this thing down and get it to a nice fine finish. But you know what? I didn't care. I just needed my key to be on my keychain. I just used a hacksaw blade, and I cut, you know, I just, you know, opened up the potato, and then I just ended up slicing the material away till I got down to this space here. And then this is just using the hacksaw blade, and those cut marks are just the hacksaw blade that's there. It kind of looks kind of interesting. And it's back on my keychain, and I'm now functional. So if this does happen to you, again, this is the Nissan keys. If your Nissan key, you know, breaks in half, these keys are they're not cheap, and you need the key in order to turn your car on. And they're all coated as well individually. So you want to make sure that you can get a working key as quickly as possible. And this turned out very well this time. Using the potato as my mold. You can also use clay as a mold. That also works well. But again, the potato is super cool. Potato doesn't cost very much, and it's something that we typically all have at our house. And so just open up that potato, make a mold, pour in your welding, you know, mix up your weld stuff, and then just let it sit overnight, a good 24 hours, and then cut it away, and then slice it down, sand it down, or maybe spray paint it, depending on how good you want it to look for your keychain. All right, I hope that was helpful.